Many of us have been working remotely for at least the past few years, and for some of us, this is likely to continue for maybe for the foreseeable future. And if you're like me, it didn't take you very long to start to think, if I can work from my spare bedroom here in the US, why can't I work from a spare bedroom anywhere in the world? And the reality is, you can. If you're an online worker, now is the best time to consider working from a remote location of your choosing. So today's topic is on which European countries have the best digital nomad visas. So hey, by the way, do me a favor, if you like this sort of content, let me know by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That lets me know what sort of videos I should do in the future. Now, let's get started. Number 12 is the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic looks like it came from a fairy tale. There are many magical places with interesting histories to visit all over the country. With more than 2,000 castles, the country has more than any other country in Europe. And Prague is the place where most digital nomads in the Czech Republic live and work. And it's one of the best places for people to work from home because the Wi-Fi is fast and the public transportation works really well. Also, Prague is a great place to learn about the culture and history of the country. In the Czech Republic, people who work from home can apply for a long-term business or freelance license. Now, this is sometimes called the Živno visa, which is short for Živnostenský oprávnění, which apparently means the trade authorization. It's for people from outside the EU who work as freelancers or run their own business. Now, the Živno visa allows you to stay up to 1 year. However, it does have one of the higher income requirements. So right now it's around $5,200. So it's the highest one on our list. Number 11 is Romania. Romania is a great place for digital nomads that is on the rise. People often forget about the Balkan countries when looking for places to visit in Europe, but they have all the same infrastructure, culture, and amenities as other European cultures, or countries, I should say, but at a lower price. Now, Bucharest is the country's capital. It's also known as the Little Paris. There are about 1.8 million people living in Bucharest, and it's a great place to live if you like the buzz of a big city. It has big IT industry, so it's a home for many big companies and a lot of new businesses as well. One of the best things about Romania is how cheap the cost of living is. You can expect to spend around $1,500 a month on living costs on average, so that's really not too bad at all. Now, Romania's digital nomad visa is aimed at non-EU citizens. Applicants must have a proof of income from a company outside of Romania. They need health insurance and a clean criminal record. Romania's visa is good up to 1 year, but can be extended for an additional 12 months. Now, they do require income, which right now is 3 times Romania's gross salary. So today, that needs to show an income of about $4,000, so it's not the least expensive on the list. Number 10 is Cyprus. Cyprus is a beautiful island country in the middle of the Mediterranean, so it's also the 3rd largest and most populated island in the Mediterranean. Cyprus is a great place to set up a hub for a digital nomad. It has everything you need to work from home. The weather is warm, the quality of life is great, and most people there speak some level of English. Many digital nomads gather in, I think it's Nicosia, which is the capital city. Since Cyprus is such a small island, it's easy to get to from Nicosia to any other place on the island. Now, to qualify, you must work for a business that is registered outside of Cyprus. This is kind of a common theme with a lot of the European visas. Now, digital nomads can bring their families with them, but their family members cannot work in Cyprus. And again, you must show income of just under $4,000, but your initial visa is good for 1 year with the possibility to renew for 2 years. So not a bad plan. Hey, question of the day. If you're a remote worker, what's holding you back from moving to another location and working remotely from there? I'd love to see your answers in the comments. Now, back to the video. Number 9 is Estonia. Estonia is a great place to visit if you want to experience a way of life that is very different from the rest of Europe. Estonia is one of the least populated countries in Europe, but it's just as beautiful and charming as the rest. And it has a full range of cities from the Middle Ages and beautiful forests and fairy tale-like places. It's fantastic. Estonia launched its Digital Nomad Visa in the summer of 2020, and it lets people stay in Estonia for up to a year at a time if they work remotely for a company in another country. So again, you gotta work for someplace outside of the country. Now, applicants must have at least $3,821 per month after taxes in the 6 months before they apply. So it's kind of a little bit of, you gotta show some history there. So not terribly hard, but again, a little pricey compared to some other countries that we'll get to. Number 8 is Greece. Greece is just a beautiful country. It has more than 6,000 beautiful islands, and each one of them has its own culture and landscape, and they draw tourists from all over the world. There are, get this, 9,942,000 miles of coastline around those islands. So you're never too far from a beach, if that's what you were looking for. Many digital nomads have been coming to Athens for a long time, and it's the capital city of Greece, has a great climate, high quality of life, and a low cost of living. Also, it's easy to get to Europe from there, so it's not a bad spot to pick at all. It's very well connected. Now, Greece started their program last year and lets people outside of the EU live and work remotely in the country. Now, to get approved, you have to show a monthly income of about $38.21. So again, I'm doing the math here for you, but that's what it is as of today. Now, under the plan, digital nomads can't work for Greek companies or do any freelance work for them. But you can stay up to 1 year and possibly extend for a residence permit. Now, number 7 is Norway. I kind of like this one. Norway was voted the happiest place in the world in 2017 because of their high standard of living. Norway is also known for its peace. It ranked on the Global Peace Index at number 14 of the most peaceful countries out of 162. 99% of their adults can read, so it's no surprise that they have a good education and they are obviously very avid readers. Norway is the latest country to start a visa program for digital nomads, but Norway's digital nomad visa is different from most every country. In fact, it's different from every country I'm aware of because it lets travelers stay for life. Now, here's a possible downside. You have to live in the Svalbard archipelago, which is a group of islands between the mainland of Norway and the North Pole. So you're pretty far up there. And it's known for its long, cold winter, so this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's absolutely beautiful. And if this is something that might appeal to you, again, having a lifetime permit, yeah, there's something to take advantage of. I don't know, I could do it. I like the cold, I like the snow. I don't know if I could do it every day, but for those of you that like that, definitely check out Norway. Number 6 is Latvia. Now, many backpackers and other travelers who want to get away from sort of all the touristy cities in Eastern Europe are now stopping by Latvia. And it's a destination on the rise. Again, Latvia is very cheap and offers a wide range of places to stay and things to do. Now, the government of Latvia said that a visa for the digital nomads would be available in 2022, but it looks like the laws are still being kind of adapted for that. But it's on the way, and they are accepting applications. Now, the government has said it will be a 1-year visa with the possibility to renew for a 2nd year. Applicants must also be residents of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. You'll see that term kind of a bit. And this includes all the Schengen countries as well as other countries around the globe, such as the US, Canada, the UK. So you don't have to necessarily be part of that Schengen. As of right now, you'll need about $3,100 in monthly income. So again, it's not too bad. $3,100 isn't the largest hurdle to overcome. Certainly not in this list. Number 5 is Portugal. Now, Portugal has been a favorite for expats and digital nomads for a very long time. Portugal is one of the least expensive countries in Western Europe and has a climate similar to the Mediterranean. It has long coastlines on the Atlantic. Even in the capital, you can take advantage of modern European amenities while still feeling like you're kind of in a small town. It's a beautiful country. As a digital nomad, you'll find a safe country that welcomes foreigners, where many people speak English, the food and the lodging are cheap, and the internet speeds, I should say, are great. Portugal has a warm and sunny climate with hot summers that are perfect for the beach and mild winters. Even in January, the temperature in Lisbon rarely drops below 69 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not a bad place at all. It makes me want to go right now. Digital nomads who want to live and work in Portugal can choose from 5 different types of visa, but the temporary stay visa is made for digital nomads in particular. With this visa, people who can prove they have a remote job and pays at least $3,057 a month can live in Portugal and keep their remote job. Now, the visa is good for 1 year, but it can be renewed up to 4 times for a total of 5 years. So that's a pretty good plan. I would definitely take a look at that. Number 4 is Malta. Now, even though Malta is a very small country with only about 500,000 people, it's a nice place for expats and tourists and digital nomads to live. Malta has sunny weather pretty much all year long. Even in the winter, it's only around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. When the weather is nice, it's fun to do things on the land and the water. Beaches, palaces, museums, churches, and other famous places can be seen by travelers. If you like the water, you can snorkel or dive or go surfing. It's a ton of things. All the restaurants and cafes and bistros that you can imagine. Now, the Nomad Residence Permit is for people who work from home or are freelancers for companies, again, outside of Malta. People who are not from the EU can get a 1-year permit, and the income requirement is just under $3,000. Again, not too bad. Number 3 is Croatia. It is quickly becoming a very popular place for people who want to work from home, especially for those who want to try a European way of life, but on a budget. For example, I'll just give you an example of what it costs. A studio apartment in the city center, which is fully furnished, can be rented for about $460 a month. Now, if you want a bigger apartment, that's about $800 a month. $12 will get you a nice, simple lunch meal. So relatively speaking, it is a pretty inexpensive place. It's definitely one you want to look for. In 2021, Croatia gave digital nomads a 1-year permit to stay in the country. That's for non-EU citizens, and especially for those who work in the communication technology. You can join the program, and they can do this through their own company, registered outside of Croatia, or as a remote worker for another company, again, registered outside of Croatia. Definitely check it out. Number 2 is Spain. Now, Spain is a very big, exciting country with beaches on the Mediterranean Sea on one side and the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. The country's interior is known for its busy cities and different cultures. Spain isn't too expensive, but it has all the benefits of being a big part of the Western Europe and a partner in the European Union. Now, we spent a month in the Canary Islands, which is part of Spain, but it's actually down in the ocean closer to Morocco than Spain itself. So check out our Spain playlist right there, or here in the description. I think you'll get a lot out of that. The long-awaited digital nomad visa for Spain went into effect at the start of 2023, so it's kind of brand new. It's for non-EU citizens, and they can live and work there up to 5 years under that plan. It's open to both self-employed freelancers with multiple clients and employees of a single company who work from home. And companies, again, they're not in Spain. Now, you must be able to show that you are qualified or have experience in that field. Now, it's not for sure clear how you're supposed to prove that. I imagine if you have some history in that will go a long way to proving it. But that's kind of what they say. I don't have the exacts on how they determine that. Now, your close family members like children and spouses can join the visa holder in the country if they can show that they have enough money to cover the family. Now, the income requirement right now for a single person is only around $2,500. For each person in the family, it goes up a little bit, not like double and triple and quadruple, but it does go up a little bit for each member of your family. But again, for one person, $2,500 is really pretty low. Now, number 1 is probably a bit of a surprise. It's Hungary. When you ask digital nomads where they like to work in Europe, they're usually going to say like Portugal or Spain or France or some other place. But Hungary just started offering a digital nomad visa that they hope will put them on the map. And with the services and infrastructure of Western European country, but the cost of an Eastern European country, Hungary is definitely some place to consider. Hungary's weather isn't as nice as some other countries, but it's still bearable. It's much like a lot of Europe and parts of the United States. One of the main things that makes Hungary so appealing to digital nomads is how cheap it is. Costs like rent and food and transportation and the internet are less than in other European countries. Digital nomads can spend an average of about $700 a month. So that is really, really affordable. The broadband is ranked 12th in the world, which is obviously very important for digital nomads, depending on what it is that you're doing. Now, this visa allows you to stay up to 1 year, but other possible extensions, and their income requirement is the lowest with only $2,200 a month. So that's all you got to show. It's $2,200 a month, and that's going to qualify you, at least as income-wise. So what did you think of that list? Any of those European countries jump out as a place that you might want to explore? Let me know in the comments. And if you're looking at more budget-friendly places to explore, why not check out this video right here on places you can live for only $1,500 a month? I think you'll really like it.